I have always loved watches. So for myself, I started off with a Swiss Army watch when I was about 10 years old. And then as I got older, unfortunately, I did get into fashion brands like Fossil and Nixon. And then as I grew up, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I fell victim to the oversized Invicta craze. I've had a weird beginning to my own watch journey, but eventually I got into traditional mechanical watches and I experienced my own horological enlightenment period, as it is often referred to by watch collectors. So over the past decade, I've tried almost every well-known brand, as well as many of the lesser-known ones. I've delved into the affordable side of the watch market, the mid-level side, the entry-level luxury side, as well as the full luxury side. I've tried everything from Orient to Doxa to Vacheron Constantin. I've tried ice-hardened steel from Damasco, and then most recently Rolex's own yellow gold formula. So I have tried so many watches over the years, but I can honestly say I have never worn something like this before. So in front of the camera today is the MB&F Horological Machine No. 10. This is the Bulldog, and without a doubt, it is the most expensive watch that I have had the privilege of filming. It has a retail price of 123,000 Swiss francs. That's quite a chunk of change. And I love the name, Horological Machine. It may be the most apt model name that I've encountered in a long while. Why? Because it is descriptive. This wild watch looks like a machine, but what kind of a machine? Is it a space-age communicator? Is it a UFO? Is it a mechanical robot? To me, this would look at home on the wrist of Dr. Morbius in the 1956 sci-fi cult classic Forbidden Planet. So again, at first glance, you may not know what this is, but after that first cursory look, you notice that this is a time teller. It's a mechanical watch, but certainly not a traditional one. It is a horological machine. Now, in my mind's eye, I'm hearing some of you possibly scoffing at this watch. You may hold this in derision. You're saying something to the effect of, Bruce, $100,000 or more for a watch you can't even read the time on. It does not have precious metal. It does not say Rolex on the dial. What is the world coming to? Now, admittedly, that is a bit facetious, but I hold a different point of view. Where do you go as a collector after experiencing all of the usual suspects? What excites when the watches everybody else is looking at become boring? When traditional high horology starts feeling stuffy, dated, or even passé? What do you do when other top market collectors are all looking at the same red subs, steel 5711s, and Newman era Daytonas? Where do you turn when money really isn't an object, and when you do not care what anyone else thinks about your choice of watches? I know many of you watching right now, at least I'm imagining this, are saying, Bruce, I don't care what others think of my watch or my watch collection. But do you really? Deep down, and perhaps subconsciously, does it have an effect on you? I think this watch in front of the camera today, this is tailor-made to that uncommon type of collector that has experienced so much and is bored with all of the usual suspects. I think there is a place, however small, in the watch market for something truly outstanding and truly outlandish, such as this HM10, this Horological Machine No. 10. And the fact that that is true, I'm happy about. Now, to better illustrate this brand and the ideology behind it, allow me to read a small snippet from the MB&F website. Quote, after decades of conforming to the rules of corporate watchmaking, Max Busser broke the chains and started a rebellion. In 2005, a rebellion called MB&F, Maximilian Busser and Friends. MB&F is an artistic concept laboratory based around a simple idea: to assemble collectives of independent watchmaking professionals to develop radical watches, horological or legacy machines. By nurturing teams of talented individuals, harnessing their passion and creativity and crediting each person's essential role. MB&F uses their synergy to become much greater than the sum of its parts, respecting tradition but never constrained by it. MB&F reinterprets traditional high-quality watchmaking into three-dimensional kinetic sculptures. Close quote. Now let's talk about this watch specifically. This horological machine is a bulldog in concept. There are large half spheres that display the time, but also mimic a bulldog's eyes. Note that the case has a squat, powerful stance, a bulbous head, and hinged leg lugs that are best viewed from the side profile. There is even an opening and closing jaw in the front of the watch that will double as the movement's power reserve display. There is a bulldog signature on the tail end of the case, and my favorite tie-in will be a quote engraved upon the grade 5 titanium caseback that says, "Forget the dog, beware the owner." Again, this is an on-point statement that describes the awesome individual who would buy something ridiculous yet completely impressive such as this. Now, the movement is comprised of 301 components. It has separate dog collar-like studded crowns, one for the winding and one for the time setting. I love the immersive open work execution with the massive floating balance wheel on the top of this watch. There is also a noticeably long drive shaft and corresponding escapement that takes center stage between the luminously indexed time domes. There is also a mixture of polishing, brushing. The finishing is in silver tones that will range from white to gunmetal, so very dynamic. The movement essentially is its own dial. It will have 34 jewels, a 2.5 hertz beat frequency, and 45 hours of power reserve. This caliber can be viewed behind an expansively shaped sapphire crystal on the top as well as the underside that will have dual applied anti-reflective coatings. Now, how does one tell the time with this watch? It's actually pretty simple. The left dome here shows the hours, the right dome shows the minutes, and there will be an adjustment period to getting used to this method of reading the time. But then again, and in my opinion, one buys something like this for the unique design, the impressive craftsmanship, and the absolutely incredible wrist presence. It's not to record any timing events or at-a-glance legibility. That is not a core tenet of this piece, so I can't knock that. But there is one element that I did find disappointing personally, and that was the strap. It is a tapering leather strap with a Velcro closure. The color is nice, the texture is nice, the taper is nice, the titanium loop is nice. I don't necessarily mind the design, but there is a long strip of black Velcro that becomes unsightly when this watch is worn by individuals with 7-inch or larger sized wrists. For reference, my wrists are 7.25-inch wrists. At the risk of sounding harsh, I think Max Busser and Friends should have used that impressive ingenuity to create a more thoughtful strap connection or closure system. After all, this is a 123,000 Swiss franc watch, and this strap is not many steps above what you would find in an Omega Moon swatch. So that is my only real criticism. It isn't the design, it isn't the legibility, it isn't the price, and it isn't the versatility or lack thereof. If you can comfortably afford this watch and are partial to the concept, more power to you. You are the type of collector that I look up to, so enjoy it to the fullest and wear it in good health. You are in the phase of horological enlightenment that I think not many of us traditional watch fans ever really get to, either by opportunity or circumstance. So, Stan, thank you for allowing me time to wear this and film this once in a lifetime type timepiece. I'll end with the brand motto, quote, "A creative adult is a child who survived," close quote. Thanks for watching, everyone.